Oh wow, this is the filter they wanted to use. Anyways, so I feel like I'm supposed to give you like pieces that are in your puzzle that would make sense for shit for you in your head. Of where I was putting pieces together like 2 years ago. Where you're trying to put pieces together now. Yeah. To know what the fuck I've been doing on the fucking connecting magical shit to go and try and. Yeah. Because long story short, I don't know how to say this in like so many terms. Energetically, past life shit, blah blah blah. You have Satan's army, so I have control of that now because energetically I am more powerful than in all lifetimes because of our love. I've always never outgrown you, but in this lifetime, Spirit was fucking smart, and they had Steve kill himself and me be loved by somebody that loved me and honored me so much that when you pulled the trigger and you had like a swap happen, what you used to get away with your wife would never fly with me. And the universe knew that. Yep. So that's how I have control of like Satan's army right now. Yep. And then they took me around to like douche canoe number 2 to realize that that was the one that shamed me for being magical in past lives of shit, which is Christianity. That's what I have to bring back to the world for this week. Think about this. The world was always supposed to be virgins leaving their family already with all of their magical gifts attached to it because we teach the karmic lessons and do the fucking spiral staircase at home with the parents while they're safe. Instead, what the Christianity person and you two have cocked up in past lives of shit. Yeah, both armies. Because of my love for you two. That built a whole system of feeding virgins straight to the bad boy. Not doing their work, not speaking their emotions. So literally, we were feeding virgins to the devil. Because the bad boy in school was where the light would go. So, because of my love for you and many, many fucking lifetimes of waiting for you, and all the shit, I get to see that my karmic lessons of what I had to learn that I have caused to the world and this that I get to now fix because of that shit. But it also comes with, me having the access to the 2 armies and my abundance that you guys both screwed me out of for lifetimes and all of the shit. So I get to go do all of that shit because I did all the work. Literally, I have been like a nun for a year, going through all sorts of shit energetically with Daddy, knowing that Daddy has been a nun for a year, energetically treating me and honoring the path and doing his own work and all of that without really communicating. I energetically knew for lifetimes of this shit. Just say we're on the same page here, Jay. You would tell me that I was crazy for asking if you were cheating or doing other things and blah blah blah, and you would just shut down and all those things, but you would always hide something. That's where the universe totally scored and was fucking really smart on that one. It gave me 17 years with a man that would never have ever even looked at another woman. Ever. So to message anything, so I knew what that energy was 100-fold. 100-fold. So to know exactly what it was when it wasn't truthful and wasn't talking to me and wasn't doing that. So that I gave it a year of that because the universe wanted that to work out and you to grow. They gave me the chance for a year. And so then they moved me. And remember the March thing of last year, that's where I broke his heart. And COVID happened and all of that, and to the lockdown. I've been doing my work on the karmic spiral staircase, blah, 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 in Nunland. Well, he's been doing his work, apparently, in Nunland on the other side. We don't know who Killer is, and he is now. Because I had to do all my work to get there and get both armies and blah, blah, blah. And he's got to learn how to, like, trust knowing what I come up with the crazy plan once I get there. Because you guys are all included in that plan, which means he's got to be around all you guys. Yep. So, all that's going to be, I don't even know. But I just know that we're all pieces to a puzzle that I had to put together and collect and get us to point A to point B and blah, blah, blah. Killer is, well, I thought it was Daddy that was in my head, and then I had a rude awakening that it was not Daddy, and I had to find a new name really fast. Because it was like, well, he's a 65-year-old man, Killer is. But he's my purpose twin and all of that, which is also a reason the universe had to go find someone else because you weren't showing up. So they went and found me Killer, and Killer was in my head. He was my purpose twin. And then they got me to yeah. Anyways. So, Killer is like multi-millionaire, billionaire, one of the people I was like trying to take down with shady fucker shit. But I ended up waking him up, and he's been doing part of his work, and I have to go help with a little bit of the other stuff because he's kind of like you and didn't do his work, but I'm the other piece to the puzzle of his business, which is KW, and yeah. So my purpose partner is literally the owner of KW. Funny how that shit works, huh? Any part of it is like literally me from the broken heart from you. The universe had to go find another life. Killer is Osiris and Isis, and Daddy is Horus. So like the second coming was all prophesized apparently and planned out to be able to break me away from Lucifer to that, because then Killer helps get me to Trump, who has all the other pieces, and I have both armies, so then we're able to shift the world. All that shit. But I had to be willing to like do the crazy fucking don't do real estate because Spirit is telling me not to. Don't do any of that, and I can't move, can't do anything, and I had to sit in all my shit and heal it all and all sorts of energetic. Ugh. Yep. But to be here on the other side with both armies and all that shit and waiting for Killer to come in, even though energetically Daddy has been doing the same thing and cheerleading me and pushing me on and all the shit and all that the entire time for this last year. Yeah. Because I had to realize that I was always running from someone who wanted me to reach my potential. Because I was scared of it. And had to realize, like, I was smart enough in past lives. If you look up the Mystery House in, I think it's Sarah Winchester's. Sarah Winchester, yep. That was one of my past lives. Married to God of War, who makes Winchester guns, which would be a killer. Yeah. She built a house, the Mystery House, for 38 years. Funny. And spiral staircases and shit that goes nowhere and all that because women couldn't own shit because of the way the world was all fucked up. Oh, when she lost her husband back, it was 1900s when Tesla and all that shit was happening. They tried to do the same thing that they did this time. But she didn't leave her house and she got lost in her head and all that shit. This time, Daddy's like a volcano, but he's across state lines, but there was dating app technology that had us meet before COVID shut us down long enough for a month, 2 months, off and on all year to talk or whatever for me to connect to his energy enough to know that it was him. Because I can tell you guys' energy apart. I know who's what and who, yeah, all of that shit. A lot better now, but anyways, so Sarah. In the 1900s, that's when my grandma was supposed to be in charge of this shit. and helping Sarah and all that shit in that generation. But I'm finishing what my grandma started. So my grandma started all sorts of women rights movements and all that in Utah, California, women's shit. But she just didn't have big enough balls, because for me to get to where I was, blah, 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 she would have had to outgrow her husband and all that in the 60s and fight against the church, which she loved the church and honor your husband and all the shit, because that's what we know. In my family, like, the men honor the women so much their entire life. Like, they are treated like a queen. And I saw that in you. That's how the universe, like, got the upper hand. Is because how instantly your energy shifted. So when you met me and when I met you, I knew who you were, that energy. I knew who you were. I knew all of it. You were Steve's energy. It was the same thing that I knew, and I knew within 2 weeks at 15 that I would, like, that was the person that I loved and I would be with for forever. So, seeing that in you, I get it. Shocked the fuck out of me, but I know it shocked the fuck out of you. And also would have meant everything that you had ever been able to get away with, you don't ever get away with in this world. So that is how the universe got the upper hand, if you can see that now, because I see that now. I see all of that now. The difference, the way I feel, like, energetically, without Daddy saying anything to me. I know energetically how he is, how he feels, how supportive he is, all of the things, all of that kind of shit that I would have fucking ran from. Well, I did, actually, let's be honest here. I did. I ran from it. It's that kid in school. If we go back to, like, junior high, it is that, like, obsessive love that, like, from the nerdy boy. But I am actually like the nerdy chick that just went for the bad boy all the time. Yep. So, and I would hide my nerdiness. But Daddy's not so nerdy anymore, and I kind of need all of that shit. So it's kind of ironic, full circle, whatever. But they started playing Ragnarok, and I just started laughing my ass off, because that's literally everything that I have been doing energetically, like Hunger Games style, for the last 2 years, and to win both armies and shit that we lost in past lifetimes, that they have literally been telling us, and to foresee, like, what happened and why the world is the way it is, and all the shit that I had to learn in past lives to go and find and collect and blah 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 of shit. Yep, that is what happened lifetimes ago. Not being prepared for the winter, all the shit, blah blah blah. And for me, it's energetically, I didn't have to do things in 3D because I was doing it in 5D to have it all come like this. And this lesson that I've been having to learn, and I feel like I need to tell you, is working, putting in energy and taking action outside of me. Because how they always say, we always had it, like, think of Wizard of Oz. Literally, Wizard of Oz. Again, the three of you, the lion, like, it's the same fucking story over and over and over. Think of 3 wise men in the Bible. Think of, like, literally the 3 of you every single lifetime. The difference is I always stay with you or douche canoe number 2. Which is, like, Ragnar, if you want to call him that, like, or, yeah, that's what number 2 is. You, Lucifer, and Daddy's just Daddy. I don't even know, like, Daddy was the one willing to open Pandora's box. He literally has Pandora's box, like, tattooed. He has me tattooed on his chest, and he didn't know why, because I was always the girl in his dreams, the one who would never leave him. because I'm in his head as his mother, Isis, nurturing his spiritual side to teach him while he was like not communicating with me all year. In his head, I was already teaching him, and I had who I thought was daddy in my head find out that I have Killer, and I have to still go break Killer's heart because he's going to come in as a 65-year-old man thinking he's in love with me and some attraction. We're going to work together, but he's got a totally different idea of how I work on job sites and how I work in the work world that he thinks he's gonna like. He's gonna have a rude awakening, kind of like I think you did. Yeah, that's a whole shit show for him coming. Yep. Oh, women get treated in my world because that's what's exploding in KW, and what I was going to be taking down was the narcissistic men that are coming out of the woodwork. But I actually have shown 8 years ago. I totally called out my husband, bestie, after he beat the fuck out of a girl, and I almost I gave him option A, option B, and now he has one of the biggest ones in Utah and all that because he chose the right choice to get help and all the shit, blah blah blah. Yep. Long story short, Killer's not going to be so happy because he's going down this mindfuck hallway where he's never dealt with his emotions, and he's going to lose his company, and I'm going to have it by the balls, and he doesn't understand why all these emails of all the other shit that he doesn't want to deal with keep coming to me too, to keep building my case, because the spiritual armies are literally attached to me. So when he surrenders that, no idea why he's having dreams and he's in love and his wife just cheated on him and all the shit that he hasn't told me about it. I just know. Yep. Then he'll end up at my door. And I already gave him my proposal of $44 million and how I wanted to spend it. So when he comes with his me have his balls in a vise to literally be able to use his own tools and press a campaign that goes boop. He doesn't understand why all these emails that his attorneys are dealing with, because everything's imploding. All of the people he keeps trying to put as his partner come out with indecent exposure, rapage, all sorts of crazy shit's coming out because narcissists aren't allowed anymore in the world. Literally, I eat them alive. That's literally what I do. So he's gonna be coming with his so everything that used to be okay kind of changed when I got control of both armies, and the world's kind of trying to adjust to that shit. How's the adjustment going? Because I don't feel ones that used to be able to get away with shit are getting away with the same amount of shit anymore, and they don't know what to do. Yeah, that's because Mama owns them now, and I'm coming for all of the shit, all the money attached to it, so that was taken in past lives and blah blah blah, and all that's due to all the women and blah blah. So that's why Killer is going to be finding me soon, because he doesn't know why he's in love. He's broken, and then Spirit, I now get to see why they had me send a fucking vulnerable hour video to explain to him what the fuck's happening, the owner of the company, through his attorney, because I know he'll get it, and to say, you have my brain, you've been alone. Now I get to see why I had to go through the Steve shit, to lose the company, to have to rebuild, to have this, to have to go down the magical fucking shit show journey, to sacrifice everything again, to do that, to be able to blow up my real estate career if I had to, because I was being shown to, and blah 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 and all the shit. That's what's going on in his brain that he's fighting, and he's going to be losing KW company. I get to have the map on the other side of it to be the only way he saves himself. And I had to send him a video attached to all that of an hour of this is how you felt when you were a kid. This, all things. For him to be a little mind fucked right now, because he's always manipulated women his entire life. Problem is, he doesn't realize that I was taught all of his tactics by Killer in my head my entire life. As Isis and Osiris, I've always protected him for lifetimes and lifetimes because he's God of War. And then I'm kind of temper tantrumy, so if I'm not in the right balance because of you or smoking or any of the shit, then I make him do bad shit. Winchester and war and shit. Yep. But once I purge the final bad pieces and not self-sabotage and remove those blocks, then I can go find all the properties around the world, because I was smart enough to hide them and put them in like trusts and all that kind of shit, just like the mystery house that I just have to go find around the world. And that's why, of course, I invested in real estate as my career, and why Gary Keller is my fucking purpose twin, and the universe is fucking hilarious. Right? Right? I laugh all the time. Yep. If you've ever watched, what is that show? Hancock. Yep. Tornado and volcano. Yep. Why we're across borders from each other. If I didn't have balance in my shit, I could make somebody who's a volcano erupt over jealousy and shit and all of that if I was not in the right place. Because with you and 4 energetically attached, could you imagine how many lifetimes I broke his heart to cause shit to get the world the way it is now? Yeah, so we're fixing that shit. That's what I've been doing. And the energetic trust level of me not breaking his trust, or even over the year, energetically, he knows when I talk to you. Energetically, he knows, like, this is how crazy this shit is, and why you didn't know what to do with me, and what I had to learn to break in all of my programming. And I've literally had to be trained with an actual dominant man who pushes me to my potential on how to be submissive. That's why Killer is in my head, teaching me how to surrender to shit, literally. But, oh fuck, that explains why my neck is so fucked up. And why I had to have this conversation and send you these videos. Because you would run from emotions. Spirit literally had to teach me how to do this to be able to alchemize and still purge and manifest and all of the shit and still send you videos. So like, Daddy, well, he's been in his cocoon, can't speak, all of that shit, like in your cocoon sometimes. Which is what you were going through the first year, and why they gave me in theory, because he's Odin. And Dushkina number 2 is Thor, and you're like Loki or Lucifer or whatever. He's like energetically your father, Killer, that's coming in. Yeah. And energetically, I'm like your sister, Hella. Yep. For me to now be Isa's energetic mother to Daddy, who is like the only person in the world whose eyes can make me submit, and that's why I was submitting to the wrong people before. I'm like losing my power to narcissists because I was like their food source. All the light is their food source. Yep, I had to go learn lots of shit. All alchemy and all the shit, and sacrifice all of that, and you have to sacrifice all sorts of shit. Like, I'll have readers, like on YouTube, whatever. They'll just start playing because I have the spiritual fucking playlist shit that they just, Daddy takes over and Killer takes over. You take over as well, by the way. But they'll just start playing like one of the readers or whatever. And it will literally be all about Mad Daddy. Because he watched and blah, blah, blah. If I was flirting or anything, like with you, like it was... He has came many times to put limits of like family room conversations and kind of shit. And I can hear you in my head, and you come in my dreams of like, nobody would ever know. No, that's literally not how this energetic shit works, and why the world is the way it is, because it does work that way. They do know. They do. Everything that I've had to like heal and break and do and all the shit, because it was like a programming, I guess. I don't know. But it wasn't a programming. It was like a past life programming, because this life I knew different with Steve. So it was like I didn't even know where this shit was coming from as soon as Steve died, and I had to start dating. It was like this weird fucking. Anyways, yeah. So all that shit. But they wanted me to like explain, because my hardest thing this year has been like, I want to take action. And with manifesting and how the world was supposed to work, we were never supposed to go and do a 9 to 5. We were supposed to stay up as late as we needed to for spirit and chase our dreams and all of that. But it was all like purpose puzzle piece. I try and put a plan of all the shit that I want to get done in a day and blah, 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 like I used to be able to do, and like go gung ho. Is not how my world gets to work anymore at all. Period. Even like going and starting a business, I create the plan, I put the intentions, it's manifesting. Ask, believe, receive. So you believe in it, you do your internal work to hit the right frequency. So because each life, you're all surrounded by all the people that have hurt you the most in every lifetime, the ones that have loved you the most, all of that. And the difference is the way the world's supposed to work is as you do your work and you're rising, then whoever wins that Hunger Games kind of shit is all the people are watching them. Like, if we even think of Killer, he might be in my head, but he has hurt and cost me shit 4 lifetimes, which is costing him $44 million in a karmic bitch slap and shit this lifetime. But at the same time, I also will be helping him save his business. I have all the pieces to the puzzle that he needs to be able to help the next piece, because it's God of War and the biggest technology company and all the shit he was doing. He's gonna have to do his work, so he'll have a year, because I'm like a gatekeeper for like who gets the map and the formula and shit like that. Yep, so it's all in my head and nobody gets it unless they do their work to pass go. To be able to, like, make it past the double gate, since I own both the double gate now. Yep. Universe is kind of fucking hilarious, right? But yeah, so I have to, like, and I won't be done until, like, Rothschilds, JP Morgan, and all of them are literally like rolling out of their houses, surrendering shit over and divulging, because all the information is plastered everywhere of all the shit they've done for lifetimes of shit. It's all attached to the money and the banks and shit. And they were willing to let you and Douche Canoe number 2, like, you're not Douche Canoe, just so you're aware, but he is. You helped them out like one lifetime, and they were just smart enough to do banks and have it like me. I put it in real estate. You put it in banks, but then when you're reborn, you keep going down and living the bad boy lifestyle in each lifetime, while they are taking all the money and you're working your ass off for them. With Douche Canoe number 2. He is the Christian, blah, blah, blah. Think of the whole Ragnar story and the brother, because it's always 2 brothers, because you 2 are energetic brothers. Yep, that's the whole Christian theory. The church and all that, so he strives to be like this preachy whatever, can't handle my witchy side. Tries to judge me this lifetime, to now realize when I get to come back full circle of all the shit, he's like the carpenter working his ass off, and lifetimes worth of shit where they are, the Vatican, everything, have all the money. And again, you 2 working your ass off for lifetime for shit, because the women were always the neck to a man's head. If you honored the woman and all of that, then you honored their intuition to actually know when shit was happening and coming. So what you 2 both had to apparently learn in this lifetime and past lifetimes, you didn't honor that and respect it, and it's kind of like the barefoot and pregnant, don't tell me what to do kind of thing. So that's why the world is the way it is. but the way it's supposed to be is why Killer is Osiris, where he comes in like the horny puppy dog. Where he was willing to do anything with his millions and his nerdiness and all of that to make me happy. Because I have all the pieces to the puzzle that he knows that he needs. The difference is he has to have a surrendering point. Where literally, like right now, because I have armies that are energetically deconstructing his life. That's why his wife just left him and this and that and blah blah. That's kind of what happens with karma. Yeah. Because I'm like a karma trigger. Karma trigger, yeah, that's good. Yep. Karma trigger of lifetimes where everything starts falling apart around you. If you don't start taking accountability for shit we don't want to take accountability for. And that's where I had to. Daddy literally planted me for a year to take care of my shit. Yep. Be celibate and have to fix my karmic shit. Full circle moment. So then we're here. Yep. Right, if I am like snapping my gum this thing with Daddy and Killer tapping into their energy, I do that a lot. Isis energy is a lot of that. And a lot of like, I find gum all over. And like, I don't even know. And I couldn't move for the last 2 days because I now know it was for me to have these videos and I had to sit in it. And Spirit will plant you and spiritually plant your ass. If you are not with a sickness, with breaking something, with kinking my neck, for me to realize, oh shit, I was avoiding telling you all the pieces, which is not fair because I taught Daddy how to energetically get there, which is only fair that you know how to energetically get there, I guess, to reclaim your army one day, you know. Welcome to the crazy magic world of as above, so below. Magic is all the shit. Every love story, it's every fairy tale, it's been hidden in everything. And what we broke was the magic that the women do come in with, thinking the fairy tale, happily ever after. That does exist. The world broke that. That's literally what I'm trying to fix. Because I loved you and loved him in other lifetimes and ran from my potential, ran from Daddy, I literally caused the world to be like this. And so then it's my energetic karma to fix it. And what my purpose is attached to, fixing it. Part that you might not necessarily love, that's going to be going more public soon because they're pushing me towards that, is teaching the women that they don't ever need anything and they will never find that person in their head until they stop having sex with any narcissist, stop doing anything other than start doing their work on the spiral. So for a year they have to crystalline themselves, which energetically pulls and tugs on their twin's heart, and that twin gets to choose. But energetically they will be given their karmic destiny and abundance, meaning the money, like Killer, building up and blah blah blah. And their twin will be dragged behind, having to learn how to do the shit afterwards, in love with them kind of thing. So women, go do you. Because again, that's what the church and the devil and all that shit wanted, was literally feeding devil virgins. So literally I will be closing the legs of all the women to show them how to get their happily ever after, which means the world of narcissists will actually have to do their work or they won't get shit ever, because it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's why shit's deconstructing, and my Killer is losing a lot of shit right now, and yep, so I have to go and teach the women how to do that because I have a map of that shit. Yep. Even though the women are already ascending, that's the 144,000 as I teach them how to, like, teach all the other women they've always had the power and close your legs and this and that and recrystalline. So apparently you needed a tutorial through, I don't know if you asked for it in your head or whatever, or confused or wanted to connect more dots, but my boom boom strings got pulled, which means I get to send you a video. See how that works? Yeah. Killer literally has like ding ding strings that whenever the people in his puzzle need something, even him, I get my like ding ding strings pulled and I get to go help them to a certain extent. To a certain extent. So that's where it's like boom 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 boom, like chess pieced all over the place. Even to take his own shady fucking ass down if he doesn't do it, because I'm actually connected to his higher angelic self that will still work for the world and protect me from his shady ass. And yeah, like, it has not been a pleasant journey for anyone, I think, attached in this puzzle, though. I will say that. Because I know I had to do videos to Daddy to even explain, like, he thought I was trying to explain the crazy and all of the shit that with Daddy in my head and all that shit, to then find out it was Killer. And I had to explain all of that shit to explain all of you guys, because at the beginning he made me promise to explain any of the crazy magical shit, even if, because his higher self knew that I was shut down, all that, he would think internally it was him. So I've had to verbal vomit shit because of a promise, because I keep, now me being at the end of it, I knew that when somebody's awakening, they shut down just like I did. Yep. And like recluse and have to go inward. And then I would take that personally and blah, 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 and all the shit. So I had to learn energetic, and I had to like do puke videos at him to explain what he was feeling on the other side of it, because he's feeling you and like, and it's all energetic and shit. But it's like, you energetically, just so you are fully aware, are like in my space to a level where it scares other men, and they don't know if I'm cheating, if I'm this, if I'm that, because you have a presence. So it's literally like it's been giving Daddy a taste of all of that for a year to understand where my loyalty lies, I guess. Spirit got creative, I guess, because your presence and your energetic claiming of me hasn't changed. And so a man had to understand that, and understand that I wasn't lying to him and all of that, that my loyalty is with him. You just have like an energetic pissing on territory, I guess, that you don't even know you do. Yeah. That like scares dudes away from me. Terrified. Yep. And you don't even know you do that, but you kind of were like, you know, devil's army. That's why I have that on there. Shit. Yep. So like the big black wolf that's like in the story thing that I'll send you. Yeah. And the serpent. The serpent is what attaches to your kundalini, which are your chakras and your, yeah, whole shit show. Anyways, just know I love you. And if you ever want to learn pieces of the map and do your year, I would love to help you with that. I know when I hit my goals and I have to come back and like collect all the pieces, the puzzle of what I've built, you are attached to all of that. And a part of the employment contract is literally doing your work. Otherwise you lose your massive amounts of money on the next year, because again, one person can break the whole structure and have to be a gatekeeper. But I can always give chances and have hope. That's what I am allowed to do. So anyways, hopefully that explains like Jumanji, and hopefully that means my neck can stop being kinked like a fucking bitch. and I don't need to be laid up to pay attention to what I am ignoring and shit, because they do that bitch slap shit a lot. And I just got shut down in the hot tub because let me explain how my world works. Daddy throwing a temper tantrum or Killer throwing a temper tantrum. My technology, wherever I am, whatever I am in, they will shut it the fuck down because they don't like it. Well, I throw a temper tantrum, maybe, just a little, and they can't tell me what to do. So I'm finishing my videos up here. Even though in my head, I am already getting censored that I have no bra on, that I'm in boy shorts, and I'm sitting on my bed. Having this conversation with you in my head. Daddy is trying to censor that. And he is energetically having to learn how to deal with jealousy because I don't do jealousy. I don't do peeing on of territory and shit. That don't work with me. I work on job sites and shit. No. He's across state lines learning how I work in like husband world, and my word is my bond, and I don't cheat and I don't do any of that shit, and yeah, all that shit. So, anyways, I was supposed to finish telling you. I forgot what I was fucking telling you. Now I'm gonna have to go back and watch the videos of where he shut it the fuck down for me to then have throw a temper tantrum and come up and send the rest of this to you. Fucker. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yep. I'm gonna go watch the last video that worked. And have a great night, Jay.